Okay, so if we're taking it further, I'm looking at people and engineering. This is Ellen Ochoa, electrical engineer, and she's an astronaut as well. So she's kind of talking about designing optical systems and becoming an astronaut and flying in space missions. So she does a lot of solving of problems for the Space Center. Okay, so she's talking about electrical engineers, they have bachelor's degrees. And list 3 industries that would employ an electrical engineer. So we have to look at the definition of electrical engineers. They direct research. They test equipment like motors, radar, and navigation systems. So we could say 3 industries that might employ electrical engineer. So it's kind of anything with electricity, right? Might be people who work with computers because they have to design programs. Or it might be people who work with phones for communication because that also relies on programs with electricity. The third industry might be, okay, so thinking about something that works with electrical. So could even be a video game company because the person would have to create a program using electricity. All of them are using electricity and creating and solving problems having to do with programs for that. Okay, those are the 3 different parts there. We will put that and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so now why might a person who is thinking about studying electrical engineering need to think about whether they enjoy solving problems? Well, that is the essence of their job. So an electrical engineer is constantly solving problems that will come up when making a program. It is the main part of their job. So if they want to work as an engineer, it is critical that they like solving problems. Otherwise, they will not like a large part of their job. Okay, so now it's talking about how she was accepted as an astronaut after she had that career as electrical engineer. So why would the career in electrical engineering be helpful for her to become an astronaut? So we were just talking about problem solving. So as an electrical engineer, she understood the programs that NASA and the space program use. She also is really good at solving problems on her own. Astronauts can have a lot of problems come up when they are in space, so they need someone with a good background in solving problems. They knew that Ellen Ochoa would know how to solve these problems. right? So she had this excellent background that they knew would work because she could solve problems on the spot, and she also understood the electrical programs they would be using. Okay. So we don't need to do rapid prototyping or hands-on lab or proposing your own path. We're going to move forward to go to self-check. So in the self-check, we have to explain and examine these photos, remember the broken plate. How can you determine the best way to keep plates from breaking on hard floors? The best way to keep plates from breaking on hard floors is to put matte rubber anti-slip mats on the floor in the kitchen where the dishes are. They are cheap. They protect the dishes from breaking, and they are washable. This is the best solution for the problem. All right, we gave our reasoning. We stated fully explanation about why it would solve a problem. The evidence is the criteria and the constraints. If the plates need to not break and the solution needs to involve a change to the floors, this is the best solution. It changes the floor and also cushions, I guess is a better word, cushions the plates so that if the plate falls on them, the plate will not break. It keeps everyone safe and meets the criteria of having no plates break. Right, so we took the evidence of the criteria and the constraints and explained why we were choosing the rubber mats over rugs and over just changing out the entire hardwood to carpet. So we'll move on there to the checkpoints and answering the following questions. If we built a rocket, we wanted to enter into a national competition, we have to basically fly super high, and the parachute needs to open and safely deliver 3 eggs. So we have to figure out which one meets that constraint. So for safely delivering 3 eggs, the results kind of show that one of the eggs was broken. So rocket B is not great. All 3 of the eggs were only unbroken in rocket A and rocket C. So because those are the 2 rockets, like the really important constraint was that the eggs don't break. So those are the only 2 that meet that. So we Okay, so we got A and C there, and then we're going to complete this paragraph. The iterative process involves testing the most promising solutions and modifying the design. It's not always the size. Design is more what it's about. Based on those test results, iterative testing can be carried out to, we don't want to make a prototype, we want to optimize the most successful design. Right, so if you want to improve the height your rocket can reach, which of the following designs would you use? Okay, so if all they care about is height, let's look again. All you care about is height, the biggest number wins, so rocket D.
You would want to further investigate how rocket D's
Hey, engineers testing scale models. Why might he use a scale model and not just like full scale, try it out? Why would you make a small model instead of just trying it out? Scale models are less expensive, absolutely. Using a model allows them to test different combustible materials, yes. Engineer will be able to find the best combination, absolutely. They reproduce the function of a pillar, but testing is faster. This isn't necessarily true. Even if it's a small model, it doesn't mean that the testing will be faster.
Building bridge pillars and testing them are very expensive. In addition, they are not easy to change once construction begins. Using a scale model is less expensive, can be changed based on test results, and gives the engineer an opportunity to improve the design before construction. The limitation is that the model does not behave exactly as a real pillar would.
Exactly. So now we're doing our last piece, which is the interactive review. Why is it important to compare test results when making decisions about what to develop further? So we're going to select all that apply. Does reproducibility of tests is important? So do we need to compare test results because reproducing is important? I don't know about that. A single test design might not perform best across all tests, totally. One design might perform better in one and worse in another, yes. And just because it's important, no. I'm going to check B and C. Using data to optimize the solution. Complete the statement to describe why engineers might want to optimize a solution. After a solution has been built, engineers might want to optimize it further, like do something that could lower the cost and improve the performance. So I just chose the two positives. Increasing the cost is not what you want to do. That's not something anyone wants, and you don't want to reduce your performance. So I just chose the two positives.
Further improvements could yield a design that performs without costing more. Many test designs are possible, but whatever test is selected, improvement will be an iterative process.
Great, so that is going to make everything for lesson 4 because we don't need to make our own study guides. Unit connection, you have to choose one of the activities about how this entire unit matches. And then after the unit connection, then you will be able to move on to a unit review. So the unit performance task and the unit review is going to be on a different video. So we'll stop here with stopping with the different self-checks and move on to unit review in a different video.